Hi, everyone. My name is Jimmy Soroka, and this is VP, the most positive community in the world. And Kate and I are safe during COVID-19, during everything that's going on. We are safe and sound, nice warm bed. As far as the rest of it, it's private, and that's good. Yeah, but we did want to stop and let you guys know. We will also do a little live stream on YouTube and let everyone know, more than likely. Oh, come on. So, being our only streams of revenue, Periscope and YouTube, we figured, you know what? It's time for us to simply produce and do our thing, because as much as we would like to include other people in our life, in our endeavors, and everything we're seeking to accomplish and that we will accomplish, everyone has their own life and they're doing their own thing. And I see that over a very long period of time that it's been very difficult for a lot of people, as far as things with me and also things with Kate. But far before any of that, and I talked with my mom about this, about sharing this, and there's really no way to set the record straight, at least not from my perspective, no matter what's written down or what isn't. So I'm going to give you my perspective, and I love you, and I am no. I'm very grateful you remind me, because sometimes I won't remember. So thank you. And okay. And I'm also going to share a little bit of the outside perspectives. And when I say outside, I mean it's my life and it's my story to tell. And I finally want to give you guys the best that I can of it and then move forward. So, where do I start? When I was born, so I have a lactose intolerance, apparently. And this is going to sound so silly, as if something so small could make such a large impact. But I have a lactose intolerance. I also had some other stuff going on that my mom had told me, something, I think it was a vitamin something, some vitamin deficiency that made my bones very brittle when I was a baby, as well as a thyroid condition. I think she's just hyperthyroidism. And the story of my life and all the mistakes that I made and the people around me is, for the most part, based around negligence above anything else, as opposed to intentional wrongs. And that stems all the way from my parents, all the way to me, and the process to which I ended up in foster care and whatnot. But realistically, it is my belief that my mom and my dad maybe, hopefully did their best that they could. Before I share my perspective, I'm going to share everyone else's first. My mom says that my dad never abused me. She sticks by that. And that she's willing to say that maybe someone in my family, not my immediate family, but someone in my family may have done it. And then ulteriorly, that in negligence, that it may have been Charlene. And that's something that I brought up. And that's something when we were young children. So it's not something that Charlene would be, guilty for or anything like that. it would just be, if we were like really small children and she was jealous of something simple or something like that, and hurt me on accident. And then Charlene's side of the story is hers to tell. Maybe some of you know it. And because she has, her own thing on here, I don't want to step in and say that I know how she feels, because her and I didn't really talk about it. At this point in time, as far as her and I go, I love her very much, like very, very much. Hey, Miss Betfair, oh, come on. What's that? And happy birthday to Charlene as well. I was going to make this broadcast a happy birthday to Charlene, but it's finally time for me to tell my story, and the best that I can one last time, because it's my platform in my life. And Charlene is my sister. She's my sister. But I definitely have a whole lot of unhealthy relationships to move on from. My sister is doing better every day, according to my mom, and I see it with her. I will say that the choices that she's making surprise me in a good way. And I want to apologize to her if she's listening. She may be sick right now, so that's why we're nervous to be around her. It's just in case she's sick with that, and she's also busy. And we knocked on her door earlier to say happy birthday, but she didn't answer. I mean, she's sleeping. But everybody has their thing, and I truly believe Charlene's making an effort to get better, and I am so proud of her for that. And once again, like I said, it's about me, but like it's good. It's like really good, because like I'm used to people using me over and over again, and I don't know if we're going to stick around. I don't think we are, but it doesn't mean that Charlene and I can't have some sort of relationship. And I don't know what that's going to look like, but her and I will figure that out together in time when we're ready, when we're both ready. I personally am going to need a lot more time, and it's not Charlene's fault. It's not solely, right. But as far as my mom goes, my perspective of it is that if there had been more education on, the problems within the family, education on the birth, understanding that they were having a child at an older age. Because if you don't know, my mom is 68, and so that for me, it's just screams negligence, and that's very difficult for me to swallow and let go of, because everything after that has been a whirlwind. And as I sit here now, I love all of my families very much. Everyone that's taken me in, everyone that's been good to me, I'm very grateful. And at the same time, it is so difficult because every one of them has called me their son or their family or this or that. And yet, here I am living with more people that don't deserve me. And I love Katie, and I'm with Katie, and we're very grateful for the roof over our heads. You better believe it. And we keep this house clean, taking care of it. We're here for my mom now. With the COVID and everything, and things are a little tough. And with our financial situation, it's a little tough. But we're figuring it out, and we're getting it together ourselves, finally. Just us taking responsibility for our lives. So those are the different perspectives. Now, for those of you that have looked up different like records, county records and things like that, as far as my dad, I don't have an explanation. If he was alive, I feel like it would be easier to know the truth, but he's not. So there's really no way for me to know. There's no way for me to know. I'm pretty good at reading people, and if I saw my dad, I think I'd be able to know. Because he's not here, there's no way. and I just have to let it go. And I gotta move on. And that's the hardest part for me. You're welcome. You can come closer to me if you want or whatever. I just have to shift. I gotta move on. And part of moving on is just it really does upset me that I have to sit here and just own up to my wrongs and my lack of gratitude, while there are so many people in my environment and in my former environment who are basically getting away with murder. And it's not on me. And that's okay. I'm not the city's son, and I'm not going to be caught up in somebody else's war anymore. It's time for me to move on with my life and make my choices. And what I told my mom was, I said, Mom, you got to let it go. As far as the county and everything else, you got to let it go. Because whatever they did, they're not just completely to blame. There's plenty of blame to go around. And because there's so many people that are trying to pass it on to me, no one's facing up to theirs. But I'm mistakes. It's very important, though, for as many of you who can understand or at least accept that most of my decisions up until now were very much based around either taught or the people that I've been around and things like that. And, moving forward, it's time for me to be myself. And I'm not all the way there yet. I'm not even close. I am so upset. I'm so angry. I'm so hurt. But you know what? I'm on my way. And I've been willing to make bargains with and try to work with all of these unhealthy people that I've called family, that Kate's called family. We wanted to make things work. But at the end of the day, as we sit here, we know that these people are lying to our faces. And there's no reason to have to put up with that. As far as my mom, she's owning it as best as she can. And she's owning it more than anybody else. And that's why for us, that says a whole lot. And as far as Charlene, every time she scopes about us, or she doesn't understand what's going on. As far as the conversation between me and my mom, by the way, for anybody that's heard this or that from Charlene, she doesn't. And we're talking that through. We'll help her through that. We've just been working things out, and it's not ridiculous. It's some heavy stuff from our past that had to be worked through, and has to still be worked through. And there's really heavy feelings about it from my end. And just the complacency that I receive sometimes it's very upsetting, but I'm working through it. And for those of you that say that I'm very hypercritical of Kate and of, maybe of my mom and things like that, you're right. I am very hypercritical of myself. And that definitely comes off on Kate and to my mom. And I'm learning how to do better with it. I'm learning how to say, okay, if I want to be hypercritical of myself, I'm welcome to do that. And I do want to be. I am kind of like a perfectionist, and I like that about me. I like that about me because it helps keep me on my toes all the time. But it is not fair to be that way with Kate or my mom. And I'm learning a lot of patience. I'm learning a lot of compassion. And I'm learning to give back the time, all of the time that so many people have given to me. And my mom is learning to give me all the time in the world that I never got, that I should have, due to negligence. And I'm very grateful and blessed to have this relationship with my mom, to still have Kate here with me. We're very blessed to have the ability to see through all the deceptions around us. and continue to work towards stability. And I can't say that we're fully there yet, but what I can tell you is 1 year ago today, I was in a really, really, really bad place. Even a couple months ago, it was even worse. But as I sit here, the only thing I could possibly be diagnosed with is paranoia, not schizophrenic paranoia, not any of that, just straight up paranoia, and that's progress for me. That's a lot of progress. And that paranoia is very much based around past experience. And some people would call that PTSD, and I've called it PTSD, but realistically, it's regular fears when you live a public life. It's not really paranoia. Because when you live on screen, there's always that risk that someone's going to show up at your door, or that someone will fool you, or I've had it all done to me. A lot of you have seen it, so it's not paranoia. It's a healthy fear that hopefully most of you don't have to experience or go through. So my side of the story, like I said, it's my belief that it was basic neglect, and the county did their best. But as my mom said to me, she said, "No, we pleaded nolo contendere," and I just thought to myself, I love you very much. That is still complacency. It is opting out of responsibility once again for the sake of your freedom, at the cost of the truth. And I have spent 25 years fighting for everyone else and not myself. And now, as I sit here with my name completely tarnished, responsible for a young woman who never, ever should have, her and I shouldn't even have met, I love you and I'm glad you're with me. But realistically, if things had gone well, I could have created a life in a stable fashion and built my success in a stable fashion that would have had all this, wouldn't have had this roller coaster. Oh, excuse me. Wouldn't have had this roller coaster. And as much as I want to hold on to that and be so angry, I'm letting it go. Yet at the same time, it's very important to share this with you guys so that you understand where, all of my feelings come from and why it's so difficult for me. Is because I know that Caitlin should never have been here. Now she is, and she's not my responsibility. Like, she's her own responsibility as an adult. But at the same time, due to my level of intelligence and my level of responsibility in this endeavor, and knowing just how many people I'm responsible for that do not realize even yet that I'm responsible for them, I'm going to have to go ahead and take that on at first. And I don't take pride in that, guys. I never asked for it. Or I should say I did. And if I knew what I was asking for, I never would have asked for it. So these next few years are not going to be about big, strong me, I'm so special, I'm taking care of people or something. It's going to be me slowly but surely getting everybody off my back because they're standing on it and I'm suffocating. And I mean, less and less every day, but I'm suffocating and everyone else is asking me why I can't breathe, or saying, that I'm faking my shortness of breath, when really it's just, I feel so suffocated by everyone around me. And I chose it. And the reason I chose it was because I couldn't tell myself the truth about my own family. I didn't want to admit that I'm on my own. I have Kate and I'm grateful, but about 85% I'm on my own. And we could say yes to our family in a lot of ways, but you got to realize is when they just will not own up the way that you're ready to, they don't necessarily deserve as much time or attention from you. And that's not Charlene I'm talking about. Charlene and I haven't really even gotten a chance to know each other yet. And in time, hopefully we will. But, I'm hoping and I'm praying that my mom will continue to swallow her pride and continue to be more compassionate as I'm making an effort to be more compassionate to her. And maybe we find a middle ground. But I mean, where I'm at right now is I'm just I just need a minute, I don't need years. I just need a minute to get to just let this settle. And I'm very grateful that my mom is providing the roof over our heads for me to have that minute, to get through this. And I'm so grateful to Caitlin for being here with me and just being so patient. So patient. So patient. No, don't get me wrong. She knows what she's getting out of this. She's a smart girl. She knows. She knows what she put in for. And, everything up in my head that all the good things that she saw that everyone else doubted on some level. People thought I was nuts for counting on a 19-year-old and telling every other adult that they're wrong. Well, I was right about her, and she's right about me. So we're going to work forward, and we're very grateful that you guys are here watching. And until I'm in a healthier place, it's going to have to be watching and listening, because there's a whole lot of you who did not listen to me from the start. I listened to you, and that was a mistake. I hear you, but I have to make choices in my own life, and I know that's what you want from me, is to make healthy choices, to keep moving forward. And I hope my life and what's going on is an example to you that it's never too late for anyone. Keep pushing forward and realize that no matter how many mistakes you make or what mistakes you make, there's always a way through. And even in the midst of a pandemic, we still find gratitude in the solace of a home that started in a very rough place. But I learned from a couple very amazing individuals that where things start doesn't always have to be where they end. So I do love you guys. I'm just not very good at communicating it yet. Welcome to Feed Peace. And talk to you soon. Hi everybody, I'm still getting used to the camera flash thing. I hope everyone's doing well. Just reaching out and letting you guys know we're going to do a retake of this. I tried to snag a broadcast, didn't work out all that well. But things are going very well here. I will say that I have all of the symptoms except pneumonia, and Charlene may as well. But hopefully we're all okay. I mean, they say that it's not supposed to affect the younger generation all that much. Hopefully. What? 80% what? You can speak out loud. I can't hear you.
Like,
I'm sorry.
80% of the cases of coronavirus 19 are supposed to be mild.
Are mild. So, like, what does that mean? We're learning. We're being. Kate said she won't be on camera. Do you not want to be heard either? Or are you cool with this?
I'm cool.
I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Alright.
Well, like, we looked up the statistics put out by the World Health Organization.
You did. I don't know. Okay. I don't know this stuff.
Okay.
I should. I'm uneducated.
And
it's not good. I've been busy.
Like 80% of coronavirus 19 cases are basically like just getting a rough like cold/flu symptoms, and then you get over it and you're fine.
Okay.
And then like 20% are severe fatal, and I forget what the other one was.
Now, fatal being what?
Fatal meaning death. But
Well, I know what death. I know what death.
That was only 2% though.
But how? Like, how does it happen?
I don't.
Do you like
exactly
cough up a
know.
lung?
I don't.
What?
I don't.
You don't.
know.
You didn't look up that part. Okay, guys. Leave in the comments. I'm gonna get reamed for my lack of education on this. I have a lot of fear. I'm really afraid. We've been trying to figure out everything else, you know. And we didn't even realize. We did not even realize that there's a pandemic going on, practically. We had no idea because we were so busy scrambling just to, figure out where we're going to live after, how the past few months have gone. But you know what? That's our life. And we love you, and we're so grateful that all of you are here with us. And I hope that we can bring a little light to your day in light of everything that's happening. It's super scary. But we are staying indoors, making an effort not to spread this because we heard that the youngins like us are, a lot of them are being very irresponsible and like just going out and about knowing they're not going to get sick. But it's the older people that are at risk. So we're trying to do our best to be responsible and stay inside. We're going to need food at some point, but within the next day or two, and we don't have money for it anyway. That's our problem, but that's part of why we're making videos every day. We could have been making videos every day, but we were afraid of everybody. But now, we literally have to eat, so guess you guys get us either way. We love you very much, and just know that we're safe. Thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in, and see you soon.